Hiya, we're in the pits at the ETS Round 3 in Gran Canaria, enjoying a bit of sun, and we're testing the new Mi5. So I'll take you through the key features of the Mi5. We've been testing it for a while in prototype form, but we only recently got the pre-production cars, so this is sort of their first outing, so we're learning as we're going. But the key features that we wanted to involve with the design of the new car was a full-length flex. We looked for a flex that was centre of the diff to centre of the diff, because we decided that if it was on the axle lines that could be as long as it could possibly be. We then played about with top deck heights, positions, thicknesses, and decided that there was nothing better than putting them on their side. It gives you a nice linear flex because you're not twisting any screws, but it also makes the front to back flex really stiff. Obviously with this top deck design, particularly going from centre of diff to centre of diff, we then had to really think about diff access. So we decided to get to the diff and the spool through the back. Another nice feature of this car, it's got the floating servo mount, which has sort of become reasonably standard in touring car now. But it's quite a nice design. It basically, with the rack and the servo position, there's just two screws. So these two screws take out the whole steering assembly and the servo. The servo is held with these two screws which are off centre to each other, so there's no twist or flex, and the servo is levitated off the chassis. One thing that the engineers at the factory and people like me at the racetrack end up arguing about is we want to move holes on caster blocks or rear hubs or steering hubs by 1/2 mil, which is obviously a big job when you're talking about a mould. So we came up with this idea of, it's been used before, but we thought it would be nice on here, bolt-on carbon plates. We've got them on the rear hub and we've got them on the steering hub, so you can have whatever Ackerman, whatever hole, whatever roll centre pickup your heart desires. Like the floating servo mount, we wanted to do a similar thing with the motor so it didn't affect chassis flex. So this motor mount is held in place purely with two screws perfectly on the centre line. Then the motor hangs over, and then we've got one pickup across the top deck here which just stops any flex that the rear belt could get with twisting the chassis. This was, I think, the best solution we could come up with for minimising tweak and offset tweak that a motor mount can cause. The other unique thing about this car is with just a pair of belts you'll be able to run the car mid-motor. As I showed you before, the two screws which mount the motor mount, there's an extra two holes further down the car. There's the slot that's been cut already for the spur gear, so you just take the motor mount out, move it along and relocate it further down the car, change the belts, and you've got a mid-motor touring car. We think this would be worth testing in low grip, wet conditions. It makes the car easier to drive, makes the car rotate hairpins better. It's proved really good on carpet, tight carpet tracks. The next funky part of the car is carbon fibre wishbones. We wanted to try carbon fibre wishbones, but we didn't want to go with a complicated pillow ball, multi-adjustment caster, camber link, which is just too hard. So we wanted to go for a combination of the two. So the guys at Schumacher came up with basically bolt-on ends. So you've got like a quarter of a normal wishbone with the normal outer positions that you would get on a normal wishbone, which bolts onto a carbon arm. Then these via pivot balls are mounted to the chassis. So we've got infamous adjustment on up and down roll centre on the wishbone, kick up, anti-squat, anti-dive, anything you like. We can change the wishbone length, we can shorten it, lengthen it, we can add toe, outboard toe, inboard toe. Basically tune the car, you know, as finely as you want to. Battery position on a touring car is quite important, so we wanted to have it multiple adjustments. So we've got these plastic plates which hold the battery in place. There's a couple of plastic inserts there which stop it from going inwards, and obviously these stop it from going forward and back. And then as you can see, there's 3 settings. So you've got forward, middle and back, and then there's also a set in the middle which is for the shorty pack, again with a forward, middle and back setting. In addition to the plastic ends which screw on to complete the wishbone, this enabled us to mount the arm, I'll show you on the rear, mount the shock below the arm, so it's off of centre. So I think it's 4mm, it's 4mm below the centre line, which means we can run a full length shock with, you know, the normal amount of oil and, you know, capable of going over the bumps well, but it's still 4mm lower because it's 4mm below the centre line. Another idea we came up with while we were playing with things was a caster blockless caster block. You'll see there's no top C part of the caster block. It's basically on a bottom yoke which is bull raced. Has 2 bull races face on face, a shim at the top, locks everything solid, and you change the bottom piece to change the caster, same as before. So you'll have your 4 degree and your 6 degree, different materials, different flex, but you don't have to have the weight of the extra bit, and it's super free because it's bull raced.